Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. My Deadlights.
Welcome to the Deadlights podcast. I'm your host, Sam Johnson.
And I am Leslie, bringing you your weekly fucking dose of horror, everybody.
Hell
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yes.
We're back again.
That was a really cool. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Leslie.
Close. No look.
Yeah.
Well, I got on the first one.
You did?
We'll just cut this out.
Cut it.
Cut here.
Cut it.
Well, we're here. We're back.
We are.
And today
Solo.
we're joined by 6 ghost children.
Yeah,
So
they're
we
all
have
around us.
we have a very full table, actually.
Mm-hmm. That is true. There's one here. 2 there. 1 here in my arms.
Oh, wow.
And then
However
6
many
more.
left. Yeah, over
Yeah.
there.
Don't
That's
know
a
how to
full
count right
table
now.
today. We didn't invite them, but they just had to show up.
They just want to play.
They just wanted to play.
They
Just
just want to play.
Play with us forever.
And I am intrigued with the story of Peter Pan, so I want to stay this age forever.
Yes, if I can go to Neverland now, not when I was like, however supposed to
No.
go, not 5 or 6. I wouldn't
Hell
wanna
no.
go. I want to go to Neverland and fucking go to the Neverland bars
Yes.
and party with the pirates.
Pirates.
You know that they got down.
Oh, absolutely. They
Yeah.
got down and they liked it.
They loved it. That's what they were about.
Yeah.
That was what they're all
They're
about.
dead.
And I would absolutely stay in Neverland this age forever.
Yeah. 28 is a solid number
This is it.
for me.
Me too.
Wait, you're 28?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you are.
I turned
I'm
28.
about to be 29, so.
Perfect.
I
So let's
forgot.
go. Peter?
Okay. Peter Pan, can
Peter?
we stay? Where's my wish? Anyways, what did we watch?
Oh, yeah. For the audience,
We're referencing-
we did not just watch Peter Pan.
No.
We didn't watch Peter Pan. What we actually watched was The Orphanage from 2007.
Wonderful.
Directed by J.A. Bayona and written by Sergio G. Sanchez. A woman brings her family back to her childhood home, which used to be an orphanage for handicapped children. Before long, her son starts to communicate with an invisible new friend. I guess just talking about this movie as a horror movie, this movie is about creepy kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
I screamed a few times.
it's a ghost story, it's a haunted house story,
Mm-hmm.
it's a creepy kid movie.
Is this our first ghost story? Because
I was thinking about it. I think somewhat
the ring
so.
is not a ghost.
No.
She's not like peering in the corner.
No, not like this.
No.
They're definitely playing off of that kind of classic, we're primarily in one location the whole
Mhm.
time, in this orphanage, and there's a lot of dark corners, there's a lot of doors for things to be behind, and corners for us to peer around, and they were definitely playing off that kind of classic haunted house trope that we have in horror movies.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
From the top.
Make it drop.
That's some wet ass orphan.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Tomas.
Tomas. So we
Rest in
start
peace.
off in a flashback.
Mhm.
We actually start off with our main character. We don't know that yet, but it's revealed to us that our main character, Laura, grew up in this orphanage that was made for disabled children.
Disabled children.
And we do not know what her disability is, but maybe she has one that we can't see.
Yeah.
And the movie starts with her getting adopted. Back with Laura. But
She's grown up.
grown up Laura.
Mm-hmm.
And they just moved back into
That was
this
trippy for me.
orphanage.
Yeah. I totally forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that we were there.
How long did it take you to realize that she was the little girl in the beginning?
I yelled it out.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the little girl from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a solid 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to make it obvious with the hair color. That's like
It
one
wasn't
thing.
obvious to me.
No, I don't think it becomes obvious until they say it. I mean, they talk about it later, like
Mhm.
in later scenes. It stays a mystery for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I did think that house was massive.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this house looks perfect for an orphanage. But yeah.
Yep. Well, it is.
Because it is.
It is because it is. Because it's the exact same house that she grew up in. Which
idiot.
was an orphanage.
Oh,
And
God.
her plan is she's brought her family back here and bought it to open the orphanage again for disabled children.
Mm-hmm.
Which I always think is very sweet. That
It's
she's
very
like
sweet.
come back and maybe she's had like somewhat of a successful career. I mean, she's obviously grown up and had a family, and she has a husband named Carlos, and they have a kid named Simone, and maybe she's just kind of become successful in her own life and just wants to return home. The other first part of this movie is kind of just establishing her and her husband's relationship and her relationship with Simone, which I think is super important because I also think too have kind of a cute, more like buddy friendship.
Yeah.
Rather than like, obviously she cares about him as a mother would a son.
Yeah.
But they also have a very open and playful relationship.
It was very sweet. That's why I didn't like. It's revealed until a little later that like he doesn't know that he's adopted,
Mm-hmm.
but their relationship from the beginning was that of just like familiar, but also like how like an aunt would like care for a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait,
And with
nephew?
a nephew. Yeah.
With a nephew.
Well, and I think so too because they are very honest with each other, and he's a smart kid too.
Yeah.
And he's very intuitive, it seems like. So they seem just like they have a kind of open and honest relationship with each other, but she is hiding this fact that he is adopted and also that he is HIV positive. So she's kind of sheltering him from
Mhm.
certain things.
But he's allowed to have imaginary friends.
Sure. I think, too, that what they were hoping was because she's opening this orphanage again, he was going to be surrounded by other children soon anyway. So they probably were like, okay, once new children are in here, he's going to become friends with them, and he'll let the imaginary friends go by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just kind of like holding out till then. You know,
Yeah.
he'll have real friends soon.
Because like the parents are the only friends right now.
Yeah.
And they're adults and they don't have the time or whatever.
Exactly, and they're busy. He's a doctor. She's setting up this new orphanage, and he does demand a lot of attention. I mean, he's a young little kid. He's he needs a lot of attention, and she does give him a good amount of attention. They go to the beach, and
Lets him explore a cave by himself.
yeah, maybe not the best move.
There definitely could have been somebody living there, like an actual person.
Or like an animal.
Also an animal. Like a whale. Wait, whales can't fit in a cave.
I'm coming for you.
I mean, like
A
seals
big
or
like
something.
narwhal with it.
It's like, oh.
I'm gonna get you, Simone.
Oh my god.
Simone got skewered by a narwhal.
That's
Spoiler.
what happened. Yes, spoiler alert.
No, but you're right. He just lets him go into the cave by himself, and that's where he does meet his new friend for the first time. And after like I don't know, it seemed like 3-4 hours.
Oh, cause he.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In this cave. Remember the cave? It's gonna come back to us.
Us.
Us. Yeah, she finally goes in and looks for Simone. He's like talking like around a corner, like,
yeah.
"Hey, want to come back and play?
To my house.
You want to come back to my house? I'm creepy. I'm a creepy kid." And he's like, "Simone,
what are you doing?
come on, let's get out of here. It's dangerous in here. You shouldn't be wandering around like I just let you do."
Yeah, for 30 minutes.
Yeah. What are you doing? He's like, he like waves around the corner.
Yeah.
Can my friend come back and play?
And she's like, yes, she says.
Yeah, of course. Whatever. Dismissive.
And she goes in there, and she sees that there's no kid.
No kid.
No kid.
Little kid shoes, though.
No
Little
footprints.
Kid prints.
Yeah.
That's
Was that his? Because he didn't go all the way in.
I know. Wasn't? Huh.
Before they go to the house, though, he sets up a shell path.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, this is a path for my friend so that he knows how to get to the house.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting about this movie, kind of a theme that we keep seeing are these references to fairy tales. Because we have this very obvious reference to Peter Pan that they talk about, going to Neverland, staying young forever. And then this one reminds me of like Hansel and Gretel, with the breadcrumbs. We have these elements of fairy tales that are kind of sneaking into the story that I really like.
I do too.
Because it's children's stories, and this is about children, it kind of just makes sense.
But when you read the like actual ones from
the Grimm,
so good.
the Grimm brothers or whatever.
I took a German
actual creepy ones.
A German folklore class, and it was great.
They're creepy.
Yeah, but also our teacher was hot, and Adam and I were in it. But the stories, yes,
hey, teach.
We're all like, but the class itself was really fun because the stories, some of them are similar or some of them are absolutely completely different with like a whole different like story or like, what am I trying to say? Like a learning thing.
Like a lesson, like a message that it's trying to teach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and this is definitely a dark fairy tale that we're kind of watching too. But it also kind of makes sense that Guillermo del Toro would produce a movie like this because he loves fantastical kind of fairy tale-esque stories.
I saw him in there, within the style.
Yeah. We go home after laying the breadcrumb trail and go on a little treasure hunt. Let's go on a treasure hunt.
How did it get there?
He...
Oh, he was drawing. He was drawing and then...
He drew a picture of all of his new imaginary friends, which are like 5 kids and then bag-headed kid in the middle, super creepy.
Super creepy.
And she's like, who are these people? And he's like, these are all my friends now. She looked at that picture and I felt like she said something about what do they have in their hands?
Oh, yeah.
Like they're little treasures, right?
Little treasures because we're doing a treasure hunt and they told me that once I get to the treasure, I can be granted a wish.
Yes, I gotta get my wish. And it starts in his treasure box.
Yeah.
And I think that leads him to, like, outside. He, like, digs something up, which then leads him to, like, a
ring? No,
something in the sewing kit.
Yeah, in the sewing kit.
And then that leads him to, I think, in the chapel, like the crucifix. And then that leads him to, like, one of those Russian dolls.
So they go down their stairs.
And then he finds the key. He's like, I know where this is. Goes to get the key.
It's a key that she locked the paperwork in.
Yes.
Where does she have the key? In her room, probably, and the little fuckers.
Yeah, I think she like put it in her pocket. She thinks that Simone set all this up, and he opens that drawer and he gets all his coins back, but it's within the folder that says that Simone is adopted and that he has HIV. And he's super excited. He's freaking out. He got his wish. And she's just stops it right there because she's upset that he like stole all this stuff and kind of
stole. Well, not the coins themselves because I think the coins are his. I think what she was referencing is that she blamed the game on him, and that she had put he had put the coins in the folder, and then grabbed the key somehow and hid it and shit.
And ultimately, she was trying to hide that information from him too.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like she was upset that he was in there. And we know that he can read. So, boom.
And then
he reveals that he does know.
He does know because his friends told him.
Mm-hmm.
When it's the information was given to us that he has HIV, the story of Peter Pan then becomes a very sweet story, because at first you're like, oh shit, all these kids are dying, and getting sent to this like beautiful, fun place for them to be in.
Well, they're gonna be forever children.
Forever children. And he says, wow, how great would that be? And she was like, don't say that. And he was like, but you can come with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no, I'm much too old. I don't know how to play anymore. That's what she says.
Mm-hmm.
And then she does play with him.
And that you're right, that Peter Pan story is has so much more weight for her that moment. And unbeknownst to him, she wishes that too. She knows that is the reality, and that's her wish, is for him to be with him forever, ultimately, in the end. But you're right, when he's talking about that story, yikers, that just must hit her
right in the heart, but she can't let him see that.
Mm-mm.
So then she kind of was like, oh, yeah, would be nice, huh?
Yeah. And he's like, why wouldn't Wendy just go with him back to Neverland too? And she's like, never thought about that, or something like that.
It's like, well, she wanted to grow old or something like that.
Idiot.
Yeah, child. You're 6 years old. You want to stay like that forever?
I'm 6.
I'm 6 years old.
Something else that happens within the first act of this movie that's important is we have a psychologist, or not a psychologist. She's a...
Yeah, police psychologist.
Well, not her yet. Sorry, I'm talking about the old woman that shows up.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, she is...
I don't know how...
The representative or the... people from the adoption agency.
Something, because she knows about Simone and his condition.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, she brings files.
Right. She does have files.
Yeah.
And she shows up to kind of, her ploy is that she's there to talk about experimental medicine and all that kind of stuff. And later one night, there's a loud metal banging that she wakes up to, and she goes out back to the dark shed. No.
By her fucking self.
No.
The husband's like, it's your turn. It's like, bitch, you're gonna make me go outside of our home that's fucking surrounded by forest to this creepy ass shed
where there's metal clanging and
where the door is open.
You're like, this is just every red flag in a horror movie is just going off right now.
Nope.
No, thank you. Go in the shed. Again, dark corners, and a bunch of shit in there too. So literally, you're looking for anything to move, because anything could move. And
there's mannequins. There's rolled up old fucking mattresses.
Mm-hmm. Chairs, cobwebs,
spiderwebs, yeah.
Creepy.
And
she's just walking along, and holy shit, who's that in the background? Old lady's there, with a shovel.
That was
she's
she was like,
just runs out. Not very fast, but she just runs into the woods and is gone.
And it's gone.
It's just a weird, creepy moment. So it is the opening day of the orphanage. And everyone's showing up, and little Simone is, crazy little kid, and Laura is obviously stressed out. It's first day opening up, and Simone is like, I want to show you Tomas's little house. She's like, we don't have time for that. Come on. And he's like, no, I want to show you Tomas's little house right now. And it kind of turns into a screaming match between the two of them, which leads to her smacking him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
because he was saying that he doesn't want to go down there. And she said, no, please, like, come down here. Everybody's waiting for you. They want to meet you. And then he's like, just keeps yelling that out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't need to go. I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, okay, fine. Stay up here.
Yeah. Does he say
Yeah.
something about, like, you're not my mother, I don't have a mother and father,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to grow old?
Yes.
That's all part of it, too. And she's just like, she doesn't want to hear that,
No.
obviously. And
She loves him very much.
yes.
That doesn't mean that you have to slap your child.
Definitely shouldn't smack him. But, yeah, she's over the situation. You know, I think she's just, with everything else going on, and she's dealing with this in her personal life, too, it's a lot for this lady. This lady.
This freaking lady.
A lot for this freaking lady. She's got a lot going on.
So much.
She runs off, and
she can't find him.
She can't find him. They get caught up in hosting, and then she can't find them. And she's looking around the house, and she's looking down these like long hallways, and it ends with like a bathroom. And she's looking in there, and then she turns around. Baghead kid. Bag kid, who we know is Tomas. Creepy bag kid.
He literally only has one eyeball.
Yeah, he's just got one little hole for one eye. And the rest is like a scarecrow-y, also very like homemade doll kind of looking face. And like old too. It's like dirty.
It's like a rice sack.
Yeah.
Or a potato sack.
Yikes. Not great.
No.
Very creepy. And I think she thinks it's Simone. Creepy.
Yeah, because everybody has fucking masks. Why?
There's this weird theme that the opening of the orphanage did, which is bring the creepiest mask you can find.
Fucking homemade pig masks and roosters and
she's like ripping off every mask.
Oh my god.
Even the tall kids, like, Simone?
Tall kids, a little girl.
A little redheaded girl, like, you think that was Simone?
She even laughed at her because she was like, bitch, I'm not your son. Like,
do I look like Simone?
Do I look like Simone, curly, black-haired kid?
No.
I have pigtails coming out of my fucking mask, bitch.
You can see that, all right? Yeah. Okay. But you got to make sure.
Yep.
And yeah, they were all the creepiest masks you've ever seen in your life. Homemade.
So then when she saw Potato Sack Kid...
yeah, she's like desensitized.
Simone?
Yeah. She's like slowly taking off. Simone?
Ah!
Pushes her back into the tub, and then
closes her hand
in the door, and we got
of course
classic nice broken nail. She rips off the nail, and
why the hell would you do that?
It hurts to talk about now.
Ouchies! Just leave it alone.
Just don't touch that.
Why are you gonna rip your fucking nail off?
Ugh,
why?
I don't know.
Anyways, I know why you wanted that practical effect, but also I didn't need it.
Didn't like it. Didn't like it. And she's getting into a panic about finding Simone. She's looking everywhere. So is Carlos at this point. She looks in the closet under the stairs, and a bunch of pipes fall out. And then she picks up the pipes and shoves them back into the closet and closes the closet. It's going to come back later. Take note. And then she eventually goes to the beach, too. She's like...
fucking breaks her leg.
She's running into the water for some reason.
Well, I think that they're running into the water to make it seem like it's high tides.
Gotcha.
Because then that means that the cave
has water in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's running towards the cave that Simone went into at the beginning of the movie. And we see a little kid over there. Mm-hmm. In the distance.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom. I'm going to Neverland. Peace.
Never seen you again, bitch.
And yeah, she breaks her leg. Like, you could see the bone just
out
of the skin.
She must have, like, tripped on a rock or something.
Yeah. Something awful.
But it was so sudden Like, all of a sudden, she's in the water, and she's like, my leg! And we get, like, a close-up to, like, a broken foot.
And suddenly Carlos is in the water, too.
Yeah.
He's falling down.
He fell down, and it was so funny.
Immediately falls.
He actually could have broken his leg.
He looked like he took an actual fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't planned.
No. And this bitch, when did she fall? Like, what?
Dang. She's got, like, glass bones.
That's her handicap.
That was the handicap. Glass bones.
Glass bones.
Duh. You can't be going in the water like that.
No one touch her.
I think it's that night. This is the night that he's gone, Simone has gone missing, and Lara's back in the house with a broken leg.
She's sleeping.
She's sleeping. She has this dream where she's, like, underwater. She's, like, swimming. And then she hears the... And she wakes up.
Uh-huh.
Kind of so interesting. We don't really have any more dream sequences like that.
No.
But
that whistle is an indicator that she knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wake up and we are hearing noises from the foundation.
Yeah, like more banging.
More pipe, like exclusively pipe, like sounds, and then kicks at the wall.
Mm-hmm. The wall, like lights are kind of shaking too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like mounting and mounting. She puts her head against the wall, and she hears like a massive crash, and then goes through that door, and it's Simone's room, and finds a little doll in his bed where he would be. So, yikes.
And it's her doll.
And it's her doll. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, it is her doll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the one that she was.
Yep.
Oh, treasure hunt.
Treasure hunt started because that sound.
Yeah.
That big ass
sound. Knowing what we know from the end, she was given that clue that day.
She was.
If she would have just followed the treasure hunt then, do you think that she could have saved him?
It looked like... So he was only there for one night, right?
Yeah.
2 nights and a day. Because he died at night.
Yeah. It could have been that night.
It could have been that night. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was in the wheelchair.
In the wheelchair. Yeah, so like, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like he suffered like a head injury or something.
Like he broke his neck or something. I hope it was quick.
It seemed like it was.
Yeah, damn.
But
yes, she finds that clue. She finds it. She doesn't know it's a clue yet, but she finds it. And then we go to 6 months later.
Yeah.
I think. It's like 6 months. Still haven't found Simone. Dad's got a big map going on in his room. He's like trying to find leads, and they're in this, I think it's like a support group for...
Yeah, support group.
Like missing and dead children.
Yeah, people that had lost their children way too soon, and they're all there just kind of helping each other go through the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like talking about how she feels like he's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's there, like she knows it. And they're all like, there's this lady that like tells her story about how like a whole year after her daughter's death, she saw her, and she like, the daughter told her that she's okay and that she's fine. And she's like, yeah, that was like very comforting, and that's when I started my healing or whatever. And then the counselor then asks everybody who else has seen their child, and they all raise their hand, and she's like, oh, you guys don't believe me, my child isn't dead.
Yeah.
And then the dad is like, oh.
Yeah, because it seems like this is definitely where they start to schism as a couple, because she hasn't accepted that he's dead. She says he's missing.
He's missing.
You don't understand.
He's somewhere in the house.
Yeah, he's somewhere. I know he's out there. Father pretty much has accepted Simone is dead. And he just wants her to accept that so bad, and so that they can move on. He clearly wants to get out of the house. He wants to move away and just move on with their lives and try to salvage their relationship and their lives if they can. But she won't give up. She just knows that she has to find him. And
because the police are not doing anything.
No, it's been 6 months. I mean, at this point, a missing child after 6 months, that's pretty
It's even
far-fetched.
Less than that. It's like after a week.
Yeah, it's like 3 days. I think it's after 3 days. It's
3 days? Oh, yeah.
Very minuscule.
The chances of them being alive is very, very small.
Yeah. But she won't give up. She absolutely will not give up. She won't let anyone tell her otherwise, too. And she's doing anything that she can think of to get Simone back. And but we have this weird moment where they're driving home, I think from that couples therapy, and they see freaking old lady.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Crossing the street. They're like,
with the stroller.
Yeah, she's like, that's her. That's her right there. And then she gets out of the car and she's like, hey, you old lady. Old lady turns around and boom, hit by a freaking ambulance.
I jumped.
Ah! Yeah, that was a good jump. That was a good jump.
I got scared. And I knew she was going to get hit because, we've all seen Mean Girls.
We've all seen it.
But no, old lady fucking dies.
She fucking dies and the stroller gets like mangled underneath the ambulance, and immediately Laura runs up to the crib yelling Simone. She thinks, I think that was her like hold on thing that she could hold on to, was this old lady probably has her.
Yeah.
Because what other explanation would there be?
Yeah.
Pulls out little Tomas doll from the crib. Someone made a doll of that kid? Jesus Christ.
She was probably her. She must have done all the dolls. I don't know. She's creepy. So.
Creepy. And Dr. Husband's over there working on resuscitating this chick, and he like goes in for mouth to mouth, comes back up, he's all bloody. And she's dead, but not without a quick little jump scare, and we actually see her face, and her jaw is just like hanging off, and it's just like crazy looking broken jaw. And I had the same thought that you had every time I see this movie.
How did he give her mouth to mouth?
Wow.
And also, why? That bitch has half a face right now. Like, why?
Let her go.
Did you just like suck her tongue and then looked at your, wife and be like, I don't know what else.
I don't know.
This is what I learned to do in doctor school.
I just Frenched this old woman's broken jaw, and it didn't work. That's what they taught me to do. Being a doctor is fucking creepy.
It's morbid. I don't know what else to do, man.
But old lady dead.
Old lady dead, but also she jumped because Laura saw the whistle. And she was like, that looks familiar.
I think also this is when this great, horribly ineffective psychologist comes back, and she's like, oh yeah, we figured out who this person is now that she's dead.
Now that she's
got a
through
jaw
dental,
hanging on the road.
Through the dental record.
Oh, great.
You know the teeth that you suck, doctor?
Here, check these. They figure out that she used to work at the orphanage.
Yes.
And
obviously, the lady with the thick-ass glasses.
The one in the back.
She's literally wearing the same clothes. Like, how did we not?
Yeah, same clothes, same glasses. This tall.
Yeah, her hair back the same way that she's always had it.
I don't work here. Yeah.
And then Lara was just like, oh, I don't recognize her. And he's like, oh, well, that's only because she like worked here for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What we learn is that she was a caretaker at the orphanage, and she brought her son, who is revealed as Tomas, who was born with birth defects, and they kept him out of sight because they didn't want... I don't know why, honestly.
Because she was psycho.
Because she was psycho and didn't
Like,
want anyone else to know about him.
All the kids have disabilities.
Right.
We have glass. Like the child is made out of glass. One that can't see. One can't run because they're in a brace.
Right. You got one with braces on. I don't know what their deal was.
I think it's probably
headgear.
Polio.
Oh yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. It was kind of odd that like this would be the one place where Tomas would be okay, because everyone else has a disability too. So seems odd, but they kept him out of sight.
Yeah.
And then eventually the other kids, after Lara was adopted and gone, the other kids were kind of messing with Tomas, and they lured him to the cave.
Mm-hmm.
But the tide got too high, and Tomas ended up drowning in the cave. And then...
So sad.
Yeah. And then old lady decided to get...
Revenge. On children.
On these 5 little kids. And decided to poison their blackberry pie and then burn them in the fucking infirmary. Which...
Because y'all died.
Because y'all did. Yikes.
I mean, that is a little suspicious. You know, like all of these children died.
Yeah.
What was her cover up?
What were the other caretakers thinking?
Also, all your orphans are dead.
Close up shop. Close the doors. We're out.
Finally, retirement.
We're done. I guess we're finished. Yeah, because there were other caretakers there. Like, what would they have thought?
Exactly. So, like, everybody else is cool with it.
And she's just like, yeah, I don't know, bad batch.
Yeah. I must have grabbed the wrong blackberries.
Whoops.
Gave them the actual poisoned ones.
Poison berries. Oopsie.
Oops. They all look the same to me.
Oh, well, let's all go home. And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very suspect. I can't believe she wasn't caught before this.
Oh, no.
Like, again, these cops are doing very little investigating in this entire movie at all, so...
Yeah. No, they're like, oh, perfect. This is this lady.
Well, that wraps that up. Very nice.
Now that she's dead.
Now that she's dead and gone.
Dead and gone.
Jaw dropper. We still don't have Simone. And we bring in a paranormal investigator. When you can't go to police because they suck, we gotta go to the paranormal investigator.
We gotta get to the ones that can get to the plane.
Get to that other plane.
The non-logical plane.
Yeah.
You just gotta believe.
The dark plane. The Deadlights.
The Deadlights. No.
And then, so we meet these two... Well, it's kind of weird. Like, she goes to a conference of one paranormal guy who's like, I got a friend. I'll call this lady.
She's a medium.
And she comes in and she's like creepy looking. She's already scary looking. She's like in Victorian clothes, and she's like
hair pulled back in a pin and like eyeliner around.
She was scary. She was always scared me.
Also, like, she's very small.
Tiny.
Like, no fucking fat anywhere.
Mm-hmm. She looked like she worked there.
Yeah.
At that orphanage. But they do kind of something that we see a lot of on these paranormal shows. They set up all these cameras all around the orphanage so they could watch as she does her
seance.
Yeah. Or I wrote down
out of body.
Yes, like the astral projection thing. She's like hypnotized, and then she's wakes up in the old orphanage when there were still kids there. She can hear kids in the background. And I like this scene because we're watching them watch her through all the different monitors, which the monitors themselves have this very creepy green, like, night vision-y kind of look. But you can also hear her, like, walking around above them, too. So, like, she's there. Like, this is all happening right above them. But there's also this separation that they have through the cameras. It's a creepy scene. Because it's all sound, too. And her reactions.
I mean, also in the night vision cameras, she looks scary because her eyes are, like, glowing.
Yeah.
When your eyes shouldn't glow because we don't see in the dark.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, eyes look weird. They're like white almost in the night vision. And she's like she's going through the house and she can hear kids and she's following the sounds of kids and she gets to this door and there's like screaming kids right behind the door. They're like, screaming. We're sick.
Yeah.
Help.
And she's like, let me in.
We want you to open the door. And then she opens the door. And she's like, ah, ah. It's such a creepy scene, too, because we can't see what she's seeing.
Well, I'm just imagining that, like, now that we know that they're poisoned, like, I'm thinking they had, like, throw up all over them.
Yeah, she's like, what have they done to you? What happened to you? Oh, who left you like this? Yeah, it's, like, gotta be a horror scene.
Like, some of the kids are probably dead already, and, like, other ones are just, like, I don't know, by the door.
Suffering, choking to death. Like, yeah, oh my God.
My Lord.
And we don't see any of it. We don't see any of that happening, though. But her reactions are good enough where you're like, shit, this is... And also that security camera look just like makes it so eerie and creepy. And then static heat coming in. And then suddenly she's back to where she started, just coming out of the trance.
Because they keep asking, where's Simon? Or, like, the mom is like, ask them, like, where's Simon? And then that's when all, like, I don't know, they just have
all the TVs just go crazy. You can't know that yet. You can't know that information yet.
Nope. You're not playing with us.
Yeah.
They're suffering right now. With Simon.
Yeah. Yikes. Sorry. And she's like, I mean, she's now totally convinced that there's paranormal things going on here, and she's down that avenue of answers. Husband, not sold at all.
No. He's a logical man.
Yeah. He's like, can we finish this up now? Get these people out of here. I think Heath maybe did this to appease her and hoped that when it was over, she could then move on and accept it because he wants to move on. He wants to move out. He brings up the fact that he wants to move out of the house because he wants to move on. Yeah. And he's done. He's just like, he's had it. And he's like, I'm getting out of here. And she was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to move out of here. And she gives him this, like, 2-day time frame of, you go ahead, give me 2 days to say goodbye, essentially. And then I'll meet up with you afterwards. And he's like, okay. She's at the end of her rope at this point. She doesn't know what else to do. Her husband's going to go. She's going to be alone. And she's like, what do I do next? And the paranormal expert says, I wrote it down. Yeah. Wait. Sure, it's on this page. Okay, so she's like, what do I do next? And the paranormal expert says, only you know how far you're willing to go to get Simone back. And people say that seeing is believing, but it's actually the opposite. You just have to believe. Essentially, just like go 100% in on what you believe is true, which she believes that there's ghosts in this apartment or in this house. And She believes that they know how to find Simone. And so she does do that. She ends up setting up the house exactly how those little ghost orphans know it. She sets up their beds, how they used to have it. She gets their food, all the food together. She puts on the uniform. She's like doing as much as she possibly can to get what they think of as home back.
Which is like she goes hunting for the blackberries, you know, like the way that they used to. She makes them that blueberry tart pie, but also sets it up with everything else that they love. Like there was some like sugar cookies on there and like other pastries that they might have like really loved to have, and she had everything.
Yeah.
And she lost it when the sugar fucking was just all. What is it called? It was all like, just crystallized together.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What else do you want?
What else?
What do you want?"
And and throughout this whole time too, she's popping some pills, and it's interesting.
Party time.
It's interesting. I only thought about that later because something else that the paranormal expert says is that those who are closer to death can be more in tune with the other plane. So Simone, who was dying of HIV, was able to communicate with these ghosts because he was closer to death.
And that's the question that she was about to ask the medium before the dad was like, "Everybody get out."
Yeah. So they don't talk about this, but she keeps taking these pills, which she keeps like getting a little woozy, and she's like having a harder and harder time doing things. And I was like, okay, is she like slowly ODing herself on pills to get herself like more close to death to communicate with these people?
Because I think she knew if Simone, I think she accepted that Simone was dead because she's like, these little ghost children are dead. So like they know where he is. And once she found him, I'm pretty sure she knew.
Yeah.
And she was like,
And this, I think, whether that's true or not, whether she accepted that he was dead, this is her last ditch effort. So after this, it's kind of like, what else do you have to lose? So she was determined to find the truth, and I think you're right, no matter what, the truth was going to kill her. And she just kind of accepted that. But she's got it all set up, and Sugar won't move, and she just gets pissed off, and she's like, "What do you want? What do you want? You want to keep playing games? Let's play a game." And then we go back to the
1, 2, touch the wall.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, touch the wall game that we started with. And this is I like how they shot this scene because it's all one take of her. It's going back and forth between her knocking on the wall, and then when she turns around to look, we have the pan across to see what's back there. And we play that.
She's in a room with like all the furniture to the side, door closed.
She's like frustrated first because nothing's going on,
and crying because she's like, "Fuck!" Like I'm just gonna
have
to accept.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do. But creak. Oh, what was that? Turn back. Door open. All right. 1, 2, 3, touch the wall. Turn back. Ghost kid.
Ghost kid.
Ghost kid.
Is that Victor?
I think it was.
Probably Victor.
Yeah. And then keep going back. More ghost kids. Getting closer. And then hits her on the back. And then
they all run away.
All running away. And she follows one of the kids to the closet. And she disappears around the closet door. And she's like, "What the hell? What the fuck?" She's like looking through the closet. How is this part of the treasure hunt? And oh wait, we missed when she found the doorknob.
Oh yeah, she found a doorknob. She's been holding on to this doorknob. It doesn't go anywhere.
No.
No doorknobs are missing.
Nope.
But the actual door from this little like closet thing underneath the stairs
Yeah.
has a similar doorknob on the inside.
It's like a shell.
It's like a
Yeah, and then she finds the little hidden door and remembers, oh shit, little hole here.
Peel.
She remembers the title credits.
Yes.
And she peels it off and then opens up the door, and we get a horribly terrifying shot of just a basement, stairs going down to blackness.
Pitch black.
I'm like, no.
Absolutely not.
No way. I'm not going. I would not go down there.
No.
Nope.
Yikes.
But she does.
No.
She's determined.
Oh, God.
She goes down, and we find Tomas's little house. This is Tomas's little house. He's got his drawing, which he's a really good artist, actually.
Yes, he's fantastic.
On the walls, and we go over to his bed, and there's someone in the bed, and it's Simone.
It's freaking Simone.
Alive and well. He looks great.
Yeah, he looks like he was just sleeping. He's taking a little nap.
Yeah, he's like, what? Have you come down here to play? And she's like, oh my God! Simone! Yes! And she's hugging him, and then you hear all the little ghost kids running upstairs, and they're just running, going crazy, and the sounds are getting louder and louder and louder. And she's like, don't worry, Simone, close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes really tight.
Really tight.
And then the camera's just spinning around them, like if they're exiting or going through a portal.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's getting closer and closer and closer to her, and as it comes really close into her eyes, it kind of fades to
black.
A more darker, gray tone, green tone film.
Because it looks like the light that was on in Tomas's room is gone.
Yes. It was this orange, nice bright orange, that's now we're switched to this blue and green kind of light.
Doesn't look good.
It's all quiet, and the blanket that she had Simone wrapped in is empty.
It unravels.
Where'd he go? And she turns around. Little baghead kid laying on the ground. And then as we're approaching the little kid, we start to put the pieces together. Oh, no, wait a second. This is Tomas's little house that Simone wanted to show her. And then when he ran away, he ran to Tomas's little house. And when she was looking for him, she trapped him in the house because she put the metal bars in front of the door when she was checking the closet. Oh, no. And then, later that night, when he was trying to bang on the door to get her attention, he falls off the little stairs and breaks his neck.
Dies, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he hadn't received his medicine that day. Probably he was hungry, he was thirsty, he was weak.
Yeah.
And he fell down and probably suffered some head injury. Cause
she takes off the bag mask and confirms it's old dead Simone.
Man, that was graphic.
That was fucked up.
He's mummified.
Yeah. It's fucked up. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is really disturbing. Also, adding to that layer of, she did it.
Yes.
It wasn't her fault knowingly, but she did trap him in there. And it's just you've been looking for your son this entire time. He was right there.
Right there.
Right there.
You heard him.
Oh.
It wasn't a ghost. It was your child.
Well, and also the fact of, the ghosts, too, were all trying to help her find him. Mm-hmm. They were trying to do this treasure hunt to find Tomas. Or to find Simone. But she wasn't listening to him. Ay, ay, ay.
She didn't believe. She didn't want to believe.
She didn't believe.
So, yeah.
Laura dead.
She discovered, she found him.
She found him, and that like scream. That
Yeah.
painful scream.
I mean, she says, like, I found you. This is so unfair.
Yes, I found you. Because when you find your treasure, you get a wish. You get a wish. And her wish was to be with him. Which does come true.
She ends up doing it.
She takes dead Simone up to the bedrooms and pops a bunch of pills, and she kills herself. She kills herself. And
And she was like, all right, let's make my wish. I want my Simon back. There he is.
There he is.
Wow.
And now she gets to take care of these kids forever.
Forever.
They all surround her.
All her friends.
It's Lara.
It's Lara.
It's Lara.
Because, like, the blind girl goes over it and touches her face and was like, oh, wow, this is Lara.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, she's our Wendy. She did grow old.
Mm-hmm.
And she does come back.
She does come back. We're in Neverland now. Forever. And it's like this really, like, sweeping, like, nice, sweet, emotional moment. And she's reunited with her son, and she's going to be the caretaker. I just keep thinking, like, Jesus Christ, she's killed herself. It's like...
Yeah.
This is, like, a pretty kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And the last shot is the father coming back. There's this, like, plaque that is in memoriam to Lara and Simone and all the other orphans.
All the children.
And he's, like, grieving them, obviously, and he goes up to the room and finds the necklace that he gave her, and the door, like, kind of creaks open, and he looks up, and he just smiles, like he saw them, and he knows that they're okay. But I keep thinking, Jesus, like, this guy this guy lost his son and his wife at the same time.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, I don't know how much he knows, but, like, I mean, it looks like she killed him.
A little bit.
I mean, a little bit. It was accidental. But, like, yeah.
She was found with his, like, rotting corpse.
Once everybody left.
Oof.
And she then committed suicide.
It did not look good. But, the cops are terrible. So they're not going to investigate shit.
They're like, oh, they're going to come back to him. It was your wife the whole time. She used to be in this orphanage.
Do you recognize the people in this picture?
All the children.
All the children.
But yeah.
I guess he's okay with it, though. Because now he's going to go with be with Pilar.
Pilar.
Thanks, lady.
Oh, gosh. She's as logical as you, and that must be the most boring of relationships.
Yeah, very, very stale sex. Very just missionary.
I came.
I am done. I have finished. Yes, but that was the orphanage.
The orphanage.
One last question that I had was, now thinking about, because we know that Simone had the little Tomas mask on at the end, so we obviously found it somewhere. When, on that first day, that opening day, when she sees Tomas, do you think that that's Simone? That pushes her into the bathtub?
Oh, wow.
Because that could have been Simone, because she doesn't get to take the mask off, and then he could have gone back to...
Was he wearing his little uniform? Because that little child in the hallway
was definitely wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I can't remember at the end what he was wearing.
I'm assuming it is Simone, because at this point, she can't see.
True. She can't see the ghost kids yet.
Yeah. So it wouldn't make sense.
And that's the only time, besides the end, that she sees a ghost. Mm-hmm. I kind of put that together when I was watching. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I think that's Simone.
I wanted to say the same thing because she is not truly believing yet.
She's not close enough to death to since then. All right, cool.
Damn.
Damn.
So Simone also hurt his mom.
Yeah. She did
Such
smack
a
him in
toxic,
the face.
Yeah, toxic relationship.
Not a great mother-son. All right,
No.
The Orphanage, 2007.
Yeah.
Time to get to those good old Smash Pumpkins.
Wow.
Do you want to start or should I?
You start.
Okay.
I think I started last time.
Cool. I think so. This movie is a movie that I always associate with kind of like one of the first horror movies that I really remember watching, and that ending reveal really just getting to me. And I think it is still very effective and a good twist ending. I really like this treasure hunt that we go on through the movie, and these little clues that we get throughout that do come back in the end. I really like that element of this movie. I think it never gets old. It never gets boring as far as the pacing of the movie. I think that the main actress is great too. I think she did a great job of carrying the movie with us, or with us with her through this movie. I really like her performance. I think that the main faults kind of come in these weird logical questions of the story, like don't like the dad's kind of logic through this whole time. What was her disability that she had? There's like some plot holes that we were able to pick out. There's like, why? And also, I never have liked the ending of her killing herself, because yes, it ends happy for her, but I just am like, she committed suicide. Like, that's really sad.
Yeah.
It's kind of selfish, you know? So I've never really liked that part of it.
Yeah, because the husband the whole time is like, couples have lost their children and they are able to make it work. So, like, let's make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
No.
That wasn't even an option.
No, she wants Simone back.
That ending has always seemed very odd and weak to me. So that's unfortunate. I do like the creepiness of the little kid and the house. I think I'm going to give this movie a 3 Smash Pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
3 Smash.
Awesome. I'm actually going to rate it a little bit higher.
All right, cool.
I'm going to, oh man, now I feel like it's too high.
Uh-oh.
I was going to give it a 4.8.
4.8? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I just really enjoyed it. Again, down to the little details of incorporating like folklore stories into the main story, and then the little details of the seashells, and like I do think that the treasure hunt like little puzzles were pretty smart. Yeah, I love the game of that. I thought it was pretty entertaining, and the actress she was so genuine. It was truthful, and it like made it so pleasant and watchable. And the script itself was pretty good. But yeah, I agree on the things of like, it sucks to have the main characters be like these cliche, typical, like, I'm a doctor, therefore I have this logic, and this is the only logic I can have.
Yeah.
And then the mom is like, oh, I am so sad, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm a crazy woman, and now people can't believe what I'm saying because I can see ghosts, or I believe in ghosts. And I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, but besides that, I did like everything else.
I think absolutely her performance is like the shining part of the movie for me. Like, she absolutely killed it. He didn't need to be that good because he was a nothing character, essentially. Like, there was no substance to his character. Yeah. So I think anyone could probably play that part and it would be fine. But she needed to be really good. And she was.
She was. Good. Like, she just was so good that I was able to really see her struggling, you know? Like, she really did, like, physicalized the emotion and but like subtly. It didn't have to be a big ass show
Mm-hmm.
because we got the scream at the end, and I think that's what was very captivating about that is that we feel the grief.
Yeah.
So then it makes sense for her to have then committed suicide.
Because she never once accepted that he was dead.
And then, above all, she now knows that it was her fault.
Yep.
So now he is truly dead, and it was a little bit her fault.
Yeah. Tough pills to swallow.
Literally dry. How the fuck does she swallow 20 plus pills dry?
He went for it. She got nothing to lose. I don't need water.
I don't do water. I'm gonna die right now.
Fuck it.
God damn.
All right, cool. The Orphanage.
The
2007.
Orphanage.
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Well, let us see what we are going to watch next week, shall we?
I think it's your turn, right?
Is it my turn? Cool. Right in the middle. Just a middle one. Oh, I'm going to eat that. All right, here we go. I got it.
All right.
I got it.
Get it.
Ooh, okay. A group of old college friends reunite for a trip to a forest in Sweden, Northern Europe, but encounter a menacing presence there stalking them.
Oh, I know that movie. It's on Netflix. It's called
The Ritual.
The Ritual.
From 2017.
Yes.
This was a
Awesome.
Netflix one. Yep.
Also such a... Yes, you see Sweden and it looks gorgeous.
Yes, we're going to get some nice Sweden looking shots for
Wow.
sure. Hell yeah. We're going on a little hiking trip.
Hiking.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us for another
Absolutely.
edition of the Deadlights pod.
This has been great.
This has been a fun one. It's been a ghosty one.
It's been a ghosty one. I think the first ghost story that we've reviewed.
First legit ghost story.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes. Congratulations all around. Well, visit us on Instagram. Visit us. Hear us everywhere, please. Also, we haven't said this, but like, if you haven't subscribe, please, or like, leave us a review.
Yeah, subscribe at all of our on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Spotify as well.
Yeah,
it really helps us out, and we hope that you want to subscribe.
Yeah. Please do.
Smash that subscribe button. Smash it, baby. Yeah.
Well, anyways, it's always really awkward to say stuff like that, but...
Yeah, and we're super awkward, so...
Yeah.
It's even worse for us.
I'm sweating all over the place.
I need to change my shirt.
Wow.
Will this get more subscriptions?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I think so. For all the Sam fans out there.
Sam fan.
Sam fan. Anyways, follow me on Instagram at ColorMeLeslie.
And me at BeepBeepRichieT. And also the Deadlights pod. That is us. And check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are recording this from.
We are here.
But until next time, let's get spooky. Simone. Where are you, Simone?
Don't adopt children. They'll just kill you.
Donde, Simone?